Our next speaker is Didier, who gives the talk on behalf of Pascal, I think, who was involved in task 7.2. And
thank you very much, Birgit. Unfortunately, Pascal has not been able to attend, so I'm going to present his presentation. It's about the use of annotation in genomic prediction, and in small breeds. Supposedly, in both small breeds, they are not really small, in fact, but they are non-thin. Okay. So the objective is to combine different sources of information, the usual 50K, and results from GWAS or meta-GWAS, and also some causal mutations, and also genomic features originating from either Boichard or cattle GTEC. So the material Pascal worked with these three different breeds, the Montbéliarde and the Normande breed, which are dairy. The population is made of bulls and characterized by daughter hill deviation, so average performance of the daughters, and also the Charolais population with cows and own performances, beef breeds, of course. In both breeds, the population were divided in a training population, about 80%, and a validation population, the remaining 20%. And in dairy, we considered 5 milk production traits, so milk, fat, and protein yield, and fat and protein contents. And for Charolais, 4 traits, weight at 18 months, thickness of bones, muscular development, and skeletal development. The genomic feature were varied a little bit. From cattle GTEC, we use TWAS results with in 2 steps, selection of genes, and after that, selection of the best variants within the genes. And from Boichard, we use the cis-EQTL top variant resulting from the work package 4 of Boichard. And Pascal concentrated on 3 tissues for dairy breeds, liver, adipose, and mammary gland, and 1 tissue only for the Charolais breeds, muscle. This is an idea of the different numbers of variants in each category. What is called GWAS is a bit special. It is simply the variants we added on the chip, so they are not imputed, but this is a collection of variants resulting from a large number of analyses in different breeds and for different traits. So we know that they are significant for something, but not always for the traits which are analyzed here. Okay, and for the method, Pascal used the BiasRCO software developed by Fanny Mollandin during her PhD, and this PhD was part of the GenSwitch project. And the method is described in this BMC bioinformatics paper, and the software is, of course, available rather easily on the GitHub. So, the method, the software is able to implement BiasC, BiasR, BiasRC, and RCPy, which is a real specificity of this software. In BiasR, remind you that a SNP can be categorized in the effect of the SNP can be allocated in different distribution with 0 effect and up to a high effect, high variance effect at least, and with the majority of the SNP with null effect and small number with high effects. In BiasRC, it is more or less the same, but we allow this distribution of SNP effects and SNP variants according to the annotation. So it gives a higher probability for a SNP to be selected when he has a strong allocation, because it is not in competition with all the SNPs. And in BiasCPI, which is a real specificity of the software, it allows multiple association for the same SNP with different options to combine them. And I think here it has both annotation and it keeps the best one. In this study, the part of the variants which were allocated were 10 minus 2, 10 minus 3, and 10 minus 6 and 0. And the 10 minus 6 is really a small value, and maybe too small, because you will see the results of that. And the results are the following. In Montbéliarde breed, I'm sorry, because it is a bit small on the screen here. So first of all, if you consider only the variance from the annotations, excluding the 50K, you can see that the prediction is rather poor. So the 50K information is very important. Then if you combine the 50K with the different annotations in BiasR, BiasRC, and BiasRCPI, the difference here is not extremely large. In some cases, there is, especially for milk yield, there is a big gain, but that's nearly the exception, I would say. And there is nearly no gain in considering the annotation, and no gain at all considering the multiple annotations. In Normande breed, the results are more or less the same. So BiasR in some situation improve a little bit over the 50K, but the annotation do not improve the results. In Charolais breeds, we clearly have an improvement considering the BiasR, the Bayesian method instead of the 50K only. And in some cases, we gain up to 7 points. And there is no, in some situations, there is some gain considering the annotation, and not really gain in considering multiple annotations. In fact, the difference between BiasRC and RCPI is relatively limited, basically because if you look at that graph, you can see that multiple annotations are really rare. In most situations, SNPs have only one annotation, making the comparison between BiasRC and BiasRCPI with limited value, I would say. In any case, if you compare BiasR and BiasRC, the distribution of the SNPs is quite different. First of all, initially I would have expected plenty of variance in the null category. In fact, in most situations, either in BiasR and BiasRC, the small category is represents the majority of the SNP, and it's likely due to the too small value which has been chosen for the QTL with small effects, 10 to the minus 6. So probably we have to change that a little bit. But if you consider the medium or the strong effects, BiasRCPI allows more SNPs to have medium or strong effects than simply BiasR, and which is what we expected. We probably have too many of them in meta-analyzed GWAS, but it's probably due to the fact that the populations are not independent between the meta-GWAS and this validation study. And in conclusion, so there is little or no significant improvement in the accuracy of genomic prediction using different sources of biological information in these studies. But as I mentioned previously, we just tested the next generation, the youngest animals within the population, and probably they are too close to the training population. And if we consider that the BioSRC-Pi is able to select variants with the best annotation, we may assume they are closer or more likely or closer to the causal mutation and with a more stable effect, whatever the distance between the candidate and the reference population. So we may expect more robust prediction, even if there is no immediate gain at the first generation. This is the take-home message, at least, I would say. And I would like to thank all the Boichard partners of this nice project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we can take one question. Renzo?
Thanks for the presentation. A question about this last point on the stability. If then there is some recombinations, or if your population starts to segregate differently from the variant that you get from these consortiums data, do you need to update? Yeah, do you need to update the variants that you give weight to? Because while on one end you have stability, on the other end your population may, due to selection, move away from that association, right?
Yes, but if you select the variants with the best annotation, you assume implicitly that they have a biological effect. So there is no longer, it is no longer a question of recombination. If they are really causal, they do not recombinate with themselves, and you can expect that the effect you estimate in the reference is really the effect you expect on the candidate. And this is the reason why we may expect more robustness. And do I answer your question or not?
I think so, yeah. Thank you.
Yes, okay. And after that, of course, you can modulate the weight you apply in genomic prediction. With the larger variants, you may give more importance. But in that case, all the variants were rather small.
There is one question online, Didier, but maybe you can answer also.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then we move on to the next speaker.